Hi guys, welcome back to Flora Fun and Food. My name is Lauren and today I'm going to freeze dry two different candies. We have Nerd Clusters, look at the before and after, so fun. And then we have Caramel M&Ms. Let me show you how I made these. They are delicious. Let's go. Okay, I have been playing around with a couple of different candies and I'm going to show you my two favorites so far. So I'm going to use these silicone liners and these tray dividers because these two candies puff up really big and end up kind of sticking together. So this divider helps keep them from sticking to one another, and then the silicone mat helps it from sticking to the tray. So what we're gonna do is Caramel M&Ms, or Caramel M&Ms if you're from the Midwest like me, and these Nerds Gummy Clusters. These are my favorite. These are my second favorite. I've done Jolly Ranchers, I've done Skittles, all kinds of things, but these two have been my favorite texture-wise because they get really big and they have really flaky layers. So all we do is put one M&M or one gummy cluster in each little compartment here and just use the general candy setting. That's all I'm gonna do. So let me fill these trays and then I'll show you how I set it and how they turn out. And they're really fast. Candy's like a couple hours and it's ready. So candy's easy to make. I just did some strawberries that took like 3 days because I did a ton. So that is literally all you have to do. And these are ready to go into the freeze dryer. While I get my trays prepped, I'm gonna go ahead and get our freeze dryer started. And I'm literally just gonna click the candy setting and it's already at 140 degrees, which is what I want. Dry time 4 hours. I'm gonna hit start and it takes about 15 minutes to get ready and then we'll throw them in there. Next up are these Nerd Gummy Clusters, and again, we're just gonna do one cluster per cell and pull any apart that are stuck together already. So I'm gonna do 3 trays of the Caramel M&Ms and I'm gonna do 3 trays of these Nerds Clusters, and we'll have candy in just a few hours. All right, our machine is ready, so I'm gonna open the door and grab the trays. So we're gonna load our gummy clusters and our Caramel M&Ms. We're gonna hit continue. We're gonna close the drain valve. Okay, so it wants to pre-warm our trays. I'm gonna hit this little leaf here and say confirm. And it's gonna start warming our trays, and I think I actually skipped the warming part. I don't know, it confuses me a little bit, but I just do that. And then this is gonna count down 4 hours and it'll be ready. Okay, our freeze dryer is done, so we're gonna open up the valve, let it drain, and then we're gonna open our door and you can see how puffy they got. Look at that. It's so cool. All right, let's bring them inside. The trays are hot after the candy batch, so be careful. Protect my table. Very hot. So I just want to show you the difference. So this was before and this is after, and these are so light. They almost feel like styrofoam with nerds attached to them. Same for the Caramel M&Ms. Now the freeze dryer doesn't dry out chocolate, so you still have kind of melted chocolate in here, but once they cool and dry, it goes back to like an M&M consistency, but the caramel is like crunchy and airy and styrofoamy. It's so cool. So to store these, I'm gonna use these half-gallon ball jars. I just find them easy to use. They're kind of large to store, and I'm gonna gently put these in so I don't break them all apart. The Nerds are definitely my favorite. So I'll fill this jar and then we'll do the same with the M&Ms and I'll show you how I seal them. I gotta show you this fail. Look at that weird little swiggly one. So sometimes Skittles will do the same thing. Sometimes the Nerds gummies will just stay kind of small. So you will have duds in every batch. So I just use those as snacking ones, but the rest turned out great. I've noticed on my machine that the bottom tray, which is what this one was, doesn't quite get to the same temperatures as the others. So I typically have more duds on that one than anyone else. So I just try to keep that in mind when I'm putting things in. So I always make sure I check the bottom one before I move on. So see, this one is tiny and it didn't really puff out a lot, but it's still completely edible, so we're not gonna worry about it. But it looks like I'm not gonna be able to fit all the M&Ms in a jar because they're a little bit bigger than the Nerds. So we'll call these good. We'll throw these in a little Ziploc bag or something just to eat them sooner rather than later. So now to store these without them reabsorbing moisture from the air or having the oxygen kind of make them go bad faster, here's what I do. I just kind of wipe off the rims and I'm gonna seal them with like a dry store canning sealer. So I have two different kinds here. These are a little finicky because you do have to get them straight on, but this is going to suck all the air out and seal the top. And then I have a different kind here. I'll link this one. This one's from Amazon. This one I got from Temu a long time ago. So if I can find the link, I will, but most of the time they're usually gone. You do have to take off the bottom because the Temu one has the regular mouth already attached and the wide mouth is without. This one's the opposite, so you just kind of have to see what yours does, but it's gonna suck out all the air. And now we'll check it. So it doesn't pop and I can't pull it off, but I'm gonna use my trusty little can opener here. Listen, you saw the air movement in there and you could hear it. It literally sucks all the air out and creates like a vacuum. So I'm gonna pull one of these out just to snack on. This one's also good to go, so I'll just stick the ring back on. And these can store on my shelf forever. Let me show you one more way. You can also buy Mylar bags. Now this one's a candy one for selling, so that's why it has a clear window in the front. The better ones are solid all the way around. This can technically let air in because the plastic is permeable. I think that's the right word. Air can penetrate this very slowly, but we're gonna throw the rest of our M&Ms in here. And then we're gonna go in with this oxygen absorber. So once I seal this package, try to get as much air out as I can. So now that this is sealed, this little sachet is going to continue absorbing any of the oxygen left in this bag, and it will preserve these for a lot longer than if I just stuck them in like a Ziploc. So those are the ways I like to preserve my freeze-dried items. I will link everything below that I have, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and head over to my channel to subscribe for more content like this, and I hope to see you again very soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.